time with Beer Man. Hey, how's it going, everyone? How you guys doing tonight, today, wherever you're from in this beautiful world? Well, I came down to a conclusion. I had to start a little earlier. I was trying to get going at 3:30, but didn't get to doing anything till a little later in the morning. So it came down to this. We're going to do the GOSE today. It's a pretty simple, seems like a pretty simple thing. Let me make sure everything's sharing out here. Got it going to YouTube or Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter right now. But I got to make sure everything's right. Yeah, it looks like it is. Okay. So I don't have it. I didn't get real fancy with this one. I don't have all these fancy ins and outs and whistleblowing things. But definitely going to do a GOSE. I've got a real good idea of what I want to do. I already did a recipe for it, so should be pretty quick. Let me see where we're at here. I don't know who's going to be here because I changed the time on everyone. I'm trying to see what works best for me and my community as well, so we can all kind of have some time to hang out on each other's live streams and participate more. It was kind of a tight schedule, so trying to do this at 3:30 from here on out Pacific, 6:30 Eastern. Right now I'm drinking a Secret Stash IPA by Widmer Brothers. I'm going to share this link. One second. Bear with me. Wait. Hold on. Go away. One second. One little share out here. Here is the link to YouTube. All right. So, hey, Ken, what's up, man? How are you? So we're going to talk about I'm going to talk about the GOSE today. I started a bit earlier, as I was saying, just to kind of hopefully, see if I can get a bigger crowd out of it or something. I didn't want to get into everyone's things. It's really hard to mix and match everyone's live streams in the community. So hopefully I'll try to go at 3:30 our time, Pacific time, in the U.S. here. But yeah, so cheers to that. Secret Stash Hemp IPA is what I'm going to drink right now. But we're going to go over a GOSE. And it's kind of an interesting beer. I'm actually looking forward to making one of these. Let's discuss this a little bit first. So some characteristics, some history. So the GOSE, generally pronounced GOSE, is a minor style associated with Leipzig, but originating in the Middle Ages in the town of Goslar in the GOSE River. This town was known for mining, and one of the most abundant minerals was salt. Documented to have been in Leipzig by 1740. Leipzig was said to have 80 GOSE houses in 1900. Production declined significantly after World War II and ceased entirely in 1966. Modern production was revived in the 1980s, but the beer is not widely available. It's extremely defined outside of Germany, although you can find this style fairly easily in the U.S. At least I can. So some style comparison. Again, this is just an informational live stream. If you want to learn about a style, and listen to me mouth off a bunch of words about a certain style and learn something, then cool. Regardless, I love having you guys here. So thank you for being here, and hopefully you'll learn something today. I don't have any pictorials or anything like that that'll make it more exciting. So we're just going to read off some info, and then we'll do a review after this. Go over the characteristics. Its perceived acidity is not as intense as a Berliner Weiss or a GOSE. The restrained use of salt, coriander, and lactobacillus should not taste overly salty. Coriander aroma can be similar to a wit beer. Haziness similar to a Weiss beer. The vital statistics of this IBUs are 5 to 12 IBUs. The color range in the SRM scales 3 to 4, fairly light. OG 1036 to 1056. The final gravity is 1006 to 1010. The ABV should range from 4.2 to 4.8%. This is from BJCP, is where I got this info. Glassware is a traditional cylindrical glass, although I'm going to use my this awesome glass here. So it's not really a tea glass, but let's see. So historical versions may have been more sour than modern examples due to spontaneous fermentation, and may be blended with syrups and is done with Berliner Weiss. That's how they may be blended with syrups and is done like they do with Berliner Weisses or Kummels. A liquor is a liquor flavored with caraway, cumin, and fennel. That's very interesting. So we have modern examples are inoculated with lactobacillus and are more balanced and generally don't need sweetening. The overall impression of this is highly carbonated, tart, fruity, wheat malt based, although it does have Pilsner malts. It's restrained in the coriander, which is a slight citrusy, lemon-like, salt character, low bitterness, very refreshing with bright flavors and a high attenuation. The appearance is unfiltered with moderate to full haze, moderate tall size white head with a tight bubbles and good retention. That did not sound good. Moderate to tall sized white head with tight bubbles and good retention. It should be effervescent. It should have a medium yellow color. Some of these gozes are flavored, and they have like watermelon or I've seen cucumber gozes. I've seen all these, whatever the hell. And they only use they're very simple mug on the build of this. I mean, simply Pilsner malt. It's like a 60-40 of Pilsner to wheat. I think it's actually more wheat than Pilsner. So 60 of wheat to 40 of Pilsner or something like that. I got to look at that again. It should have aroma, should be light sourness, slightly sharp, noticeable coriander, aromatic lemony quality, or moderate intensity, light bready, doughy, yeasty character like uncooked sourdough bread. The acidity or coriander can give a bright and lively impression. The salt may be perceived as a very light, clean sea breeze character or general freshness, if noticeable at all. Hey, Bamboo, Thrash, all right, Bumpy. Hey, I tried to get here. I was trying, man. I was trying to get you in here for at least a half hour. Cheers, guys. So the acidity can be more, I'm going over gozes. That's what I chose. Acidity can be more noticeable in the finish, enhancing the refreshing quality of the beer. The acidity should be balanced, not forward. Historical versions can be very sour. The mouthfeel, very high to very high carbonation, effervescent, medium light to medium full body. Salt may give a slightly tingly, mouth-watering quality if perceived at all. The yeast and wheat can give it a little body, but it shouldn't have a heavy feel. Characteristic ingredients: Pilsner and wheat malt, restrained use of salt and coriander seed, lactobacillus. You can also use acid malt in replacement of that. You do have to add lactobacillus very carefully from what I was reading. A little bit at a time, taste it. A little bit at a time, taste it. So I figured the acid malt might work better, but add that at the last 10 minutes of the boil. Coriander should have a fresh citrusy lemon or bitter orange bright note and not be vegetal, celery-like, or ham-like. The salt should have a sea salt or fresh salt character, not metallic or iodine-like. Yes. So let's go into one of these. I think it was one that Miscellaneous Magnets did last night on Beer and Cheese. Let me go over you guys first. I got to make sure I'm on top of this. Thank you guys so much for being here. All right. So I already have a recipe. I have what I want to do, but I could not find a BUGU, a bitterness unit gravity unit balance ratio for this particular style. I'm assuming it's because of I have no idea why they don't have that, but it only has a real simple bitterness 60-minute addition, and I'm going to use Shoutout for that. Citrusy. All right, so let's get some water in my system. I didn't bring my cheese. I was going to try that with this, but I'll do it another day. This is the Anderson Valley Briny Melon Goza, brewed with natural flavor by Anderson Valley. Since 1987. It's a 4.2, so it's within range. It's even at the lower end of the range. Solar Powered Brewery, right on. They're out of Boonville, California. And a date for this would be at hell if no. So let's go ahead and do this beer. I got my false Tiku glass, my other type of, it's kind of a Tiku glass. Very effervescent out of the can. Holy moly. Salt, coriander, watermelon, or melon-like flavors to come out of this with that nice crackery, bready French bread, dough kind of flavors I'm looking for. So we got about a 2-finger head. That melon. I'm getting the melon. The watermelon, I get the saltiness. It's not too bad though. It's just like kind of a, I don't know. There is a little bit of a lemon coriander like smell to it as well. It just smells kind of earthy actually. I don't really get any malts. I'm not really getting anything pushing through. Let's go into the look. So it does have that deep yellow gold kind of color. It's a bit hazy, which is cool. It's got an effervescence to it. This is it looks like a perfect Goza. The head retention seems pretty decent. It's a white head, nice foamy, frothy, kind of, not frothy, just real foamy and tight head, tight bubbles. Real nice. Clean beer. Hairy profile. It smells like, I don't know what it smells like in here. For some Canadian bitterness. All right, let's taste it. Yeah, it's more tart, salty and tart. And the mouthfeel is real salty, tart, but also has kind of a clean mouthfeel to it. It is kind of vinegar-esque in a way too. It's not super. It's not sour. It does have a sour quality to it though, a slight sourness to it, but it's more of a tart. You're getting kind of like a watermelon rind or something like that into the green of the watermelon after you get the sweet out. You're getting into that green part of it, the whatever the fuck you call it. Very nice and clean. All over the mouthfeel, you get this salty, kind of a slight salty, slight lemony, coriander-like feel. The watermelon peeks through on the tongue a little bit, and then it dries off in the back. There is a little bit of a salty heat in the throat, kind of a dryness. Watermelon really pulls through well, though. It really makes your eyes go a little. But it's good. It's really good. Gives off a funk of llama. Oh, shit. You guys are funny. All right. So not a bad beer. I out of 5, I would give this 4.25 hops. Not a bad beer at all, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and do this recipe. Let me see what else I have written down here real quick. I'm going to take down my characteristics. So this is straight up from BYO. I actually took their recipe and kind of put it into play. I liked what I saw. I thought it was cool. So yeah, he's saying Pilsner, which will give the crisp and cleanliness of it, 60% in the grist, and the wheat with the haze and the fruitiness and the finished result, 40% in the grist. Good. Let's see. So you can add lactic acid. The fermentation is complete. To the fermentation, when the fermentation is complete prior to kegging or bottling, add only a couple milliliters at a time and taste just before bottling. Or you can add acidulated malt, acid malt to the mash. It is a pale malt that has been sprayed with lactic acid and allowed to dry. A good rule of thumb is to use 1 to 2.5 pounds of acidulated malt per 5 gallons. Shoot for the middle if you can't get the exact. Mash conversion temp is 148 to 150. It's recommended. The base malt should rest for a minimum of 60 minutes, and then you add the acidulated malt for an additional 45 minutes. After it has done its thing, you add it for another 45 minutes. If using acidulated malt, the acid brings down the overall pH of the mash and will have a negative impact on the enzymes that are they're responsible for conversion of starches to fermented sugars. If acidulated malt is added too early, it could prevent you from getting the amount of sugars you are looking for. Wait until the base malt conversion is complete, then add the acidulated malt and rest for another 45 to 60 minutes. 60-minute boil is sufficient. Hop addition should be minimal and done early in the boil. 60 minutes is said to be the best. German Hallertau or an American equal is okay. Don't use iodized salt for flavoring reasons. You want to use sea salt, and you want to use about half to an ounce of salt per, I guess, 5-gallon batch. Coriander, the same thing. Coriander, ground coriander seed, the same. You can toast these as well if you want to. How many can I do? In a dry pan for 5-10 minutes. Okay, to bring out essential oils. Right on. Use half to an ounce of that as well. Don't want to have it overwhelming, but inclusive. Both salt and coriander should be added within 10 to 15 minutes remaining in the boil. With the yeast, you need something clean and not too flocculent. Attenuation should be at around the 74 to 78% range to help achieve the dryness it requires. Two good ones to use here are White Labs WLP029, the German Ale Kolsch. I've even seen them use USO5 dry yeast. But to keep it in its German essence, I would probably use the Y yeast, 1007 German Ale yeast. I think that's a good one. Fermentation should be conducted in a temperature range of 66 to 68 degrees. This will keep flavor compounds produced by the yeast to a minimum. So it's a lot like brewing. It's a lot like fermenting and conditioning a regular, like an IPA, even like a regular American IPA or a pale ale, or it's got kind of an easy thing to it. The only real thing there is the acidulated malt or the acid, the lactic acid being added, the coriander, and the salt. So those are the main things that make a GOSE what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. Again, I thank you guys. Me and my llama are going, Dennis. Right on. All right, here we go. Let's get you up here. Now you guys can see my, oh, look at that. Ah! Hold on. You see all my desktop. Ah, shit. Okay, so we're gonna go. This is just gonna be me doing a recipe. So we're gonna go. It's beer time. We're gonna call this a GOSE. Beer man. 15 gallon. I don't know why I do this. 60-minute boil. Although, you know, oh no, that's for the mash. Sorry, I was thinking something totally different. All right, 10 gallons. We're gonna change this to GOSE. Okay, 72%, 10 gallons, 60 minutes boil. Corn sugar is gonna be forced carb, and it's gonna be a single infusion mash. Although we're going to do that extra 45 minutes of acidulated malt, acid malt in there. So let's go ahead and add the fermentables. And what I have is 10 pounds of wheat malt. This is for a 10-gallon batch. 10 pounds of wheat malt. Actually, I said that differently. It's actually 60% of wheat malt, 40% of Pilsner. So 10 pounds of wheat malt. German, where the fuck are you? There it is. Six and a half pounds of Pilsner malt. German Pilsner 2 rows, 6.5. 4 pounds of acid malt. Addition of 45 minutes mash. 4 pounds of acid malt. In the mash. 2 ounces of Shoutout, 4.8% alpha, 60-minute boil. Straight up Shoutout. It would be Shoutout. Pellet, 2 ounces. Wow, that brings it way over. Let's go down on that. Let's keep it at, like, I'll keep it there. That works. I couldn't find the BUGU for that, so, shit. 1.5 ounces of sea salt, rice hulls, 1 pound of rice hulls. Wait. I'm in the wrong thing. It's not a fermentable, though. But, oh well. So, how much did I say that? Fucking 1 pound? Let's do it. And that will add as a filter for the wheat. I don't know why. I thought you only needed rice hulls when you're using like flaked wheat or flaked malts of some kind. But it says to use them, so 1.5 ounces of sea salt. Let me go back to, well, I'll just, hold on. 1.5 ounces of sea salt at 10 minutes. Dude, I just put that in there, man. Where the hell is it? Apparently it didn't save. So we'll just do this for now. And I'll change it later. 1.5 ounces, though. Okay, and then coriander. Ground, of course, 1.5 ounces. And we want to add also Irish moss. Yeast. I'm going to use the 1007 German. Where's the German at? Where are the Germans? I'll just do, I could do 1 pack and do a starter, but I'll just do 2 for now. So that's pretty much the gist of it. That's it. So that's it. We're saving it. Cool, we did it. So, hey, Silver Gold, what's up, man? Oh, no problem, dude. Yeah, I'll head over there. I was trying to get this at 3:30, but that's cool. Right on, man. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know. It's last minute, so. But that's that. Seems like it's good. I'll work with the recipe a little later, but not a bad beer. This is a GOSE right here. Good GOSE. 4.25 Anderson Valley. Not bad at all. All right, so I'm actually going to check out Wild Card right now. I want to see. Never been there before. I might just go to the chat, hang out, and say hello, or if they have a available position or place to be position, available spot, then I might jump on. So if you guys want to go over to that, I don't have the link to that. Never been there. I need to look all this up. All right, so I'm done here. Good beer, good thing. I don't like to bore bore you too much. I know it sometimes gets a little boring learning stuff and putting out a bunch of knowledge and weird shit, and gets hard to listen to, but fun times. Loved it. Good beer. I really wanted to do something else. I might do black IPAs next week, so we'll see if I can find one. So I've been talking about that, but all right. You guys have a good one. This was a spur of the moment. I wanted to try out the time and see what it was all about. I'll try and get to 3:30, like I said, next time, but I may even go back to 5 o'clock. So Pacific time, that is. All right, you guys. Cheers. Had a good time. I'm going to head over there. Much love. Woo! Another beer done.